How's she going? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshop. I sure appreciate you dropping in. Today we have a follow-up video about the high cost that I had for power usage. Remember I did a video a while ago, I'll put the link up here, for a video where I was using a lot of power, and I found the problem was my water pump was running all the time down at the boathouse. Well, we got that problem fixed and that's not an issue anymore. But while I was researching that, I found on Amazon a unit like this. Now you see lots of videos about these. And what these are is you can get this and it'll plug into an outlet, and then you can plug your load into this. And what this does is it shows amps, volts, and kilowatt hours. But anyway, now what I want to do today is I want to do a little experiment here to find out for my own benefit and for yours too if you're interested how much some things cost to operate. You know, things that you have plugged in that are just idling there in the background, and you're figuring, well, you're not even thinking about what they are, right? And then all of a sudden you get your bill and it turns out that it's high. So let's go, you know, we're going to use this and do some testing. Let's go find out where we're wasting all our money. Okay, we're starting off just having a look at the meter. The meter has several different scales on it. The buttons here, you can scroll through the scales. This one, it calls up the different functions. Right now we're reading the watts. You hit the screen again and the light comes on, and that makes it hard to see it in the camera, I think. But that's the next reading is then kilowatt hours, and then the voltage, the line voltage, and you see it's at 122 right now because I'm plugged in. Then it gets the amps, and then the low watts that the power that the unit used, then the high watts that the unit used. So like if you had a heater, it would go down to a minimal value and then go back up to higher values. And then this is I think that's just the length of time that the unit has been on. So we're going to start with watts, and we're going to check some different functions here. First of all, I have a light here. It's a 60 watt incandescent bulb. Now I had to do some searching to find this, but it's a 60 watt incandescent bulb. So we're going to plug this in and see how we make out. Going to turn it on. So it takes a little while to line up here, but it's supposed to be a 60 watt bulb, so it's measuring 65.2, so that's not bad. So now, what else do we have here? There's the voltage, and then the current of that is 0.53 amps. 534 keeps changing. Alright, so a half an amp basically for a 60 watt bulb. Alright, so we turn that off. And everything should go back to zero. There. Alright, so now no one uses incandescent bulbs. Like I say, I had a hard time finding this one. So we're going to put that aside, and it says on the base it's 9.5 watts, and it's an LED bulb, supposed to be the equivalent of 60 watts. So let's try that. So we'll turn that on. And to my eye, the brightness is about the same. But we measure the current now, and the current is 0.12 of an amp. And now if we can get to watts, that's the low reading for wattage, then the high reading. So now there's the watts. The watts is 10.7. So the equivalent light from an LED bulb is about 1/6 the number of watts. So we use 60 watts, and now we're running at 10 watts getting the same amount of light. So that's interesting to note. When Nanny and I have the grandkids out for a visit, we have a nightlight in their room, just like make it a little safer for them. And we have this incandescent nightlight. This is a 7.5 watt incandescent nightlight. So let's see what that does. Alright, we're starting off reading watts. So we turn it on. You see that light is pretty dim, but after all it's a night light. The label says 7.5 watts and we're reading 7.7. Now see if we can get to the amps. There's the amps, 0.063 amps. So for the incandescent bulb, 7 watts, 0.063 amps, not bad. I also have an LED night lamp. These are one of those LED night lamps where you just plug them in, and when it senses that it's dark, the light comes on. So let's have a look at that. We'll plug that in here. Now it's going to be tough to see the scale, but I'm reading amps and the scale is reading 0.019. So the incandescent bulb was 0.063 or 0.06 we'll say. This one is 0.02 to round it off. So let's see what the wattage says. That's the low watts, the high watts, and then the actual watts is 0.3 of a watt. 0.3 of a watt. It actually went down when the light went on. Look at that. So when the light's on, it uses less current. Go figure. I have this, it's an alarm clock radio. Everybody has these probably in their house somewheres. This is one where we have the plug-in wire and it has the little transformer power supply that you plug into the wall. So let's see what how much this draws. So when you plug that in, the clock lights up, and wait till I get on amps here. This is drawing 0.014 amps. If we unplug the clock, look what happens. Nothing. Well, it dropped 1/100th of an amp. So whether you're plugged in or whether you're not doesn't make much difference as far as this is concerned. And the wattage of this is 0.8 of a watt. So when your alarm clock is plugged in and clicking away there 24/7, it's using 0.8 of a watt. So it's good to know, although alarm clocks is something that you wouldn't unplug, but you know, the night light, you might unplug that during the day, right? Here's another common household item, I expect. It's a radio. Let's plug that in. And the radio is not turned on now. It's just sitting here. And if we look at the amps, the radio is drawing 0.47 amps. Sorry, 0.047 amps. Alright, that's with the radio off. Now if we turn the radio on, turn the volume down. So with the radio on, it's 0.05 amps. And with the radio off, 0.047. Doesn't change much, eh? Sticker time again at Grampie's workshop. Aha, yes sir. This week I got a letter from John Klem. And John is one of those guys that doesn't have a YouTube channel. But you should have, John. You got some good information there, pal. But John is a great supporter of us YouTubers, especially the small engine repair channels. Not that I'm a small engine repair guy, but I do a lot of work on small engines. But Big John, John Klem, great fella. What a supporter, eh? Like, he'll search out your channel and he'll comment on it. And he's a nice guy. And he sent me this letter. He says, thank you, sir, for allowing me to be part of your YouTube channel. See that? See that kind of remark you get from a guy like that? You know, when you see a remark like that, that he is a true supporter of the channel. So thank you, John, for all the support you give my channel and all the other channels that you watch. Now, if I can get the backing off of this. There we go. So, Big John's Small Engines. Boys, it's an honor to have you on the garage door, John, and thanks for all your support. And if you see John's comments, just click on the comment and respond to John personally and tell him what a great guy he is for supporting the channels the way he does. Okay, I'm over here at the desk in the corner of the shop where I have my computer set up. And right now everything is shut off in the computer. And this power bar feeds all the electronics, the monitor, the computer. I have externally powered batteries, or speakers I mean. I also have a little USB power supply that I have plugged in there, so I unplugged that. So right now there should be, there's no active loads on this circuit. I'm going to plug in the USB power supply and see what that does to the current. I don't expect that's going to change it much, because if they're not charging an implement, they don't draw a lot of current. So we'll just wait a minute here for that. There, it just went up to 0.058. So that little USB charger uses 0.001 of an amp. Now I'm going to turn the monitor on. So now we're going to turn on the computer. So with the computer starting up, I think it's a 200 watt power supply in this computer, so the load should be significant here. So the current has gone up now as the computer starting. It's at 1.04 right now, 1.08. I expect as more things come online here in the computer after it does its startup checks. 1.35 now, 1.46. Okay, so now the computer is up and operational. It's around, I'm going to say, between 1.25 and 1.5 amps. Because the computer is doing different things, you know, idling, doing checks, doing background operations and background routines. 1.4 there now. So how many watts is that? That's 115 watts. 115 watts. So having the computer running 24/7 with the monitor on and the speakers going, it's like having a 100 watt light bulb running all the time. But you know, now that I'm thinking about it, 100 watts going 24/7, I'm going to shut her off. Shut down. Shut down the computer. And I'm going to save myself a bucket load of money. And now I'm back to 4.2 watts of just idling. So even with shutting everything off completely, I'm still using 4 watts of power. Isn't that interesting? If I shut off the power bar, now it goes to 0. So I'm going to leave the power bar shut off too. Well, you know what? I'm not sure if I'm happy about this meter or not. It's scary, eh? It opened my eyes about how much power I use and where I use it and when I use it. So, you know, I guess that was the whole purpose of getting this, was to manage my power consumption, and this has certainly helped me do that. You know, you figure a nightlight, you just plug that in, it's okay. Your alarm clock, well, you have to have that plugged in 24/7, but that's using power every second of every day. So, you know, you can make an informed decision of whether I want that kind of a appliance or something different. I don't know what it would be, an old wind-up clock maybe. Anyways, I hope this gave you some insight and some information about how maybe you can manage power consumption around your place and save a little money so that you can buy one of these meters. Thanks for watching, everyone. I sure hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, thumbs up me, leave me some comments. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thanks a lot for dropping in, and we'll talk to you soon.